so much, everybody, for being here for our first edition of OtterTank. For those who are not used to our usual format, we usually just have drinks. So now we wanted to spice it up a little bit and give a stage for startups. And we were really inspired after organizing Eat Them, our annual hackathon, and seeing all these projects, hack for the weekend, have a good time, and then where do they go? What happens after that? So in that spirit, we thought it's time to give them a stage. And David's going to be joining us as well. So we'll have 4 presentations tonight from different projects that we selected. Please go. We have very important 4 people on stage who are going to be reviewing and asking the hard questions. They have little, boards with them as well, where they'll have their final grade as well. So tonight, first the presentation, they have 5 minutes, then the judges have their moment. You will also have your moment. You can all join us on Slido. It's the usual place for a question, and the code for tonight is OtterTank, and you'll find it, and I'll be looking at your questions. And that's it. Thank you so much for being here, for supporting all these startups. I would like to welcome to the stage Data Tunnel.
Okay, great to be here with all of you during this difficult bear market. Still a full room, so that's great to see. My name is Daniel, and I represent the Data Tunnel. Oh, that's a bit too far. Let's give some time for the slides. And actually, I'm not only here to talk about blockchain, but also data. Next slide, please. So, did you know that a staggering 97 zettabytes of data is waiting there to be analyzed and monetized? That's a staggering 97 billion gigabytes of data. 80% of enterprises have monetizable data. And the majority of these enterprises even want to monetize this data. With all these opportunities out there, now with AI, why aren't more enterprises monetizing their data? Next slide, please. According to us, the answer lies in the extremely fragmented data ecosystem. And like you can see on this slide, every player here is actually focusing on a niche. And this often increases complexity, and complexity increases cost. Cost makes sure that there is a hesitance to start even this data monetization process. It's not seen as an opportunity anymore. Next slide, please. It's very ironic. We're drowning in data. Data worth billions. Yet, enterprises seem to be caught in a paradox. This paradox is that they are not able to monetize their data. They're rich in information, yet poor in actionable insight. Next slide, please. At Data Tunnel, we are on a mission to make data easier to share, easier to find, and easier to monetize. We want a less fragmented data ecosystem. An ecosystem that's more inclusive and interoperable, all powered by blockchain technology. Next slide. We do this by focusing on a few core values. We make it very easy to monetize data. And thanks to blockchain technology, you can work together with others and monetize the data. Everything is checked on the blockchain and revenue is fairly distributed. Next slide, please. But data quality is also very important. And that is why we use our community of data enthusiasts to contribute to the metadata, to improve this data. Everything is again checked on chain and revenues are fairly distributed. Next slide, please. Learning how to code is not for everyone. But finding information in data is very important nowadays. That is why we have also created a low-code rapid development environment to let you analyze the data, clean it, and combine the data sets. All for non-tech savvy users. And of course, enterprises are very important to us because we want to help them start the journey of data monetization. But they have the requirements for data governance. And we make it very easy for them to share which data they want, to some of the data to their trusted partners, and some publicly. And again, it's all powered by blockchain technology. And due to blockchain technology, they can trust that who has access has really access. We're going to launch the data tunnel in about a month. And we have a lot of exciting things coming up for the coming years. We want to integrate large language models and also support different data formats. Next slide, please. Yeah? Almost done?
That's it, you have 5 minutes.
Okay.
Judges,
Gonna be horrible.
David, you have a mic next to you. Sterling, you have a mic next to you. So, you can also introduce yourself, maybe just
Sure.
quickly.
I'm Justin Bonds. I'm the founder of Cyber Capital. All right. Nice to meet you too. So first of all, I'll say I like the use case. So the use case to me makes a lot of sense to me, actually. I do wonder though why you need a blockchain for this, and I would even question if a blockchain is even necessary. The reason for that is, well, you know, how do you keep the data private? You know, you also, because you know this is mostly B2B, I assume. You know, this would all require like KYC and whitelisting and all of these things. And basically, if you try to build this on a blockchain, you'll inherit none of the advantages and all of the disadvantages. So this, to me, seems more like a kind of traditional service company in Web 2 as opposed to Web 3. And by adding blockchain, I don't see what you're gaining. You're actually losing out, I think, more so if anything else. Especially since companies would be wary to work with blockchain. You're just adding extra challenge. So that would really be my main critique, I think, to start with. At least I'm not sure how long we have, but I'll pass it on.
Okay. Can I respond to that? Or?
Oh yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. How long do we have for this, Simon?
15 minutes.
Oh, that's
And then I'll take
great.
your
Okay.
questions.
Cool.
Yeah, so why we use actually blockchain technology is for the administrative needs. When you start working together with data, it's very easy to track where the revenue is going. And when you pay, you can split this revenue very easily. And that is very much the use case for blockchain technology.
But in that case, you're just using a cryptocurrency as a means of payment.
That's
on top
true.
of a traditional service.
Yes, but
Yeah.
when you publish the data set, you get a digital representation of the data set, and that is kind of fairly split. If you are, for example, publishing data, and I contribute to this data, I get a fragment of this NFT, and then when someone else is paying you, I get part of this revenue.
Right, but this is all on a whitelisted, KYC, centralized system.
This is, we can do also KYC. Our company has
Right.
zero knowledge technology for KYC. So you can say you're Justin Bonds. I don't have to know it.
Yeah.
You just can you can verify that the data you publish is from Cyber Capital, for example.
Yeah, but I mean, the verification depends upon the attestation of the centralized system that you're building on. So it's essentially still a trusted and permissioned system.
Well, you do it on a permissionless blockchain. I mean, the fact that you have to go through a verification process doesn't necessarily make it centralized.
No, but it does if you build it on a centralized system, right?
Yeah, but we're building this on top of Avalanche network.
Okay, so it's subchain.
Yeah.
And then you control the consensus of that subchain.
Well, you can
Right.
have a validator. You can run a validator.
Right.
So,
Right.
and then it decentralizes more.
Yeah, but I mean, the whole system is still permissioned because you're in control of it. You're doing the KYC, you're doing all the compliance. You can't really build compliance into a decentralized system, right? And these companies will require compliance.
We are convinced that we can build a certain amount of compliance in the system. We have a rule engine that allows you to set certain rules to who you want to share this data, and this can be executed basically on chain.
Yeah, I'm skeptical that you can achieve it, but I would love to see you pull it off. And I think I've taken up enough time.
let's
here.
hear from the other judges.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Let's hear from the other judges.
I have a related question, because I had the same question, but I'm also wondering, have you talked to anyone who wants this solution and is willing to try it?
Yeah. Sadly, I couldn't finish the slides, but can I still put the slides on? We have a few ecosystem partners.
You can go ahead and just share them.
Yeah, so we have a partnership with Crunchbase and another company called SSA Group, and they are gonna start publishing their data on our data tunnel from inception. Last week I had a talk with a prospect that was very enthusiastic about the product and is also ready to publish on our data tunnel platform. So already some initial traction there.
And because like I paid for Crunchbase, I paid to access that data, so I'm not sure what their incentive is to share the data with a platform like yours.
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, they want to go after a different target market, and we can also sell just part of the data set, and you don't have to pay them for a full subscription anymore. And well, Crunchbase was very interested in that use case to only sell parts of their data to people. So.
Yes, some questions here. Thijs from Boven from VanEck. I just I wanted to ask something about the data. Where do you store the data? Is one of my questions I had.
Yeah, so we have two models currently. You can either upload the data and then it's stored on our Amazon instance, or we're currently also building technology that's why it's also called the data tunnel, that you can literally tunnel the data. So you could leave the data on premise. You're from VanEck, you want to monetize your data, keep it on your servers, just tell us which data you want to publish, and then we literally, someone on the other side can run the query towards your instance.
And how are you going to have enough data on your platform? Because you have to you match supply and demand, right? I saw some other protocols, Ocean Protocol is a good example, I think.
Yep.
They lost all their users because there was not enough data on the platform. So how are you going to ensure that there's enough supply of data, first of all, and then how are you going to onboard users? So what kind of data is valuable to users in crypto?
Yeah, so we're not necessarily only focusing on users in crypto, but we will also publish some crypto data there, so that might be interesting for the crypto community. But currently we're very much focusing on training data for AI, because we've identified there's a lot of market potential there with the boom happening currently. So we're going after those, and yeah, we have different data sets. I mean, we need to start somewhere and indeed bring supply demand together. SSA Group has, for example, a lot of Amazon data. Well, you can think of a lot of use cases, competitor analysis based if you want to bring a new TV into the market. Great.
Do you have any idea what kind of fees you are charging on this data? So, if I'm correct, the total addressable market in 2030 is assumed in 15 billion. So maybe decentralized is taking 1% of that, so 150 million.
Yeah, that's we estimate a bit larger because we have also, there's already an existing market for traditional data marketplaces. So for us, we estimate 275 million. With this market growing in the
decentralized.
Well,
data
yeah, in
models?
decentralized, we in the end want to, with account abstraction, make blockchain basically the accounting model and the verification, but you don't want an enterprise to log in with their MetaMask.
So let's assume you take 10% of the decentralized data marketplace, which is 26 million in that case.
Yeah.
What kind of fees are you charging on 26 million? How much is left for you as a protocol?
Yeah, so 35% if the data is stored with us, because we have to run the whole data infrastructure, and around 15% if you leave it on your own premise, because then you have your costs there. So that's currently the model that we are starting to experiment with. Yeah.
And are you also going to produce your own data?
Yeah, we have actually a product that is very much data focused, but on the crypto market, and we are going to bring that data into our platform. It's called Data Quasar. Yeah, it's from another spin-off from a company, Nuance. Yeah.
Thanks. There's one more judge, I think.
Yeah. Hello. I'm David from Aave Grandstyle, also part of DCD. Angel Collective, and I do angel investing, crypto for a long time. I think one of the, like Justin highlighted, one of the problems here is, you talk about decentralization, but it's not decentralized. So I think I think from just a marketing perspective, it's probably not a good thing. Like it's sort of like when I hear that, it's just like dishonest in a way, and I don't think you mean to do that. Like it's just like for crypto natives, it's like, okay, this is like hijacking the conversation about decentralization when it's not actually, right? What you really are is a marketplace, and that's fine. Like there's nothing wrong with being a marketplace for data. So I think that would be part of my feedback. And then I think the other thing is like what about like traction? Like what have you done? Like besides the idea of this, besides having this bunch of logos. Right, like what does that mean when they've like shown interest, right?
Yeah. Well, the thing is we're launching the product in about a month, so no users using the platform at the moment. Other than that, we had of course demos with prospects, and they are quite interested in it. And now
what does interest mean though?
That they want to publish. And they see a future in the product. They want to even go to enterprises, help us on the technological side. Some of our partners will help on the technological side, and others will help us with go-to-market. Yeah.
I think it's so you have the supply side of data, right? And like the hard thing is that the supply side of data, they're going to give the data, right? Because it's very low barrier. They're not losing anything. Right, they're just going to give it. So the problem for you is like, is the demand there? Like people, are they willing to pay for it? So do you have any like traction on the demand side?
Not yet, because we couldn't test it out. Because if you don't have your marketplace live, it's very hard to create a pool towards. Yeah. So we have conversations with data scientists, and they use a lot of free data out there. But our engine also standardizes the data. They find that very interesting, willing to pay for also some interesting data. It's sometimes also a matter of time, because some data can be scraped, for example. Do you want to start doing that as a company, or do you want to just acquire that data?
Yeah.
That's already scraped by others. So.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. My last comment would be that, like, I appreciate entrepreneurship is like very hard, so I appreciate what you're doing. I think you should have started at a much like stronger pain point, and then have like the demand and supply side like set, like just matching one supply of data with someone that needs that data and getting that person to like pay. I think that would have been a stronger like pitch, a stronger deck, just saying at least, look, we've got one or two people, look, they've made a transaction. And you can do that like by hand, you don't even need software for that, right? So, yeah, that's, it'll be interesting to see how you go. Like, you're going to have a bunch of data, but the hardest part is getting both sides of the marketplace.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all.
Thanks.
David actually made me think of another question. Who asked for this solution? How did you decide that this was a solution that people needed and that it had to be blockchain?
Yeah, so basically the founders of Alliance Block were actually struggling with this. They got clients that wanted to combine all financial types of financial data and combine it with the blockchain. Well, the data comes in different forms, formats, etc. So they started building actually a data standardization engine, and there actually it came further than, well, once you have standardized this data, there's probably also demand for that data because you did already a lot of actions beforehand, and there's value in data in general. So then the idea for the data tunnel was born actually. Yeah.
But why blockchain?
But by blockchain, yeah, because they are also in the blockchain space, so they want to make it really, they're in their vision, they want to really do this in the most permissionless way as possible.
Are you the founder?
No, no. I'm the product lead, yeah. Why not? Because I'm the product lead.
I would again, I think, David, you made a really good point. This is not a permissionless or decentralized system, so I strongly think you should start marketing that way. I was going to ask, since in preparation for this, a lot of the links were not working, and you did link a economic paper that talked about the, I think it was the ABLF token. So how does this token tie into data tunnel, and like why is this necessary? Or are you just adding extra friction through the use of a separate token?
No, this is actually, the token will be used for the validators on the network. So there comes the utility of the token, and the token is also used within our other ecosystem.
Okay.
So it's a DeFi protocol.
So the numbers were mentioned before. So your security will be tied into the total value of this token, right? Which would be a tiny value considering the size of this market. And this ties back to what I was saying before. If you attempt to put this on such a blockchain, as you put it, one, you're still permissioned, and two, you've got some major security problems now. So you're asking these companies to host data on a system that could potentially be exploited.
Well, we're here to agree to disagree, but...
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you everybody for, there's one question that I have here on Slido. Data tunnel folks might want to look at Quandle and Numerai for your operations.
Sorry?
I'll give you the Quandle. Maybe the person who asked the question can expand. Quandle and Numerai.
Okay.
No? All right.
We'll write it
You should
down.
look it up.
Okay.
Any live question that everybody feels inspired?
Yes, yeah.
Go ahead. And loud.
Hello, you hear me?
Hey, hello.
Yeah, so maybe I missed this, but like, what is the actual nature of the monetization of the data? Can you give me a couple of examples of like how the data will be monetized?
How is data monetized? The fact that if you have a data set, right? Say you're a scraping company, and you normally would do an assignment for a company to scrape, say, Amazon data. Now you have a big data set, and data scientists like to work with data sets, so different types of data sets. Now, if you are looking for this Amazon data, well, there you have it, supply and demand brought together. And normally a company might hire a scraper for that, but you also have ready-made data sets available, currently already traded by other data marketplaces.
All right.
Does that answer your question?
I'm assuming it is, because now I'm going to ask...
Essentially pay for the data.
I know.
Yeah.
And you can always answer afterwards. I'm going to ask the judges to look at their little boards that they have. I know this part. And grade this project and how they answered the question out of 10. And this will then give you your final grade that you can walk away with tonight, as well as the video of tonight's presentation. And that will be the same for all the projects.
In what context is the grade? In what context is the grade? Like, as an investment or as like just a company that we think will do well, or what?
That's your overall grade of you for 10. I don't want to like, there's no like, it's, what is the out of 10? How would you rate this project overall, holistically? And we will then merge your 4 grades, and that was it.
Well, I have some criteria here. I'm
Thijs is more prepared. So Thijs can
I'm
tell
rating
you.
on a few things here. So I'm rating, is there a problem first of all? And then out of 10, is the solution to the problem out of 10? Is the team that's behind Alliance Block is able to solve it? 1 out of 10? Oh, no, not 1 out of 10, out of 10. For me as well, total addressable market out of 10. The token model out of 10, and is the blockchain needed out of 10? So if we are going to give it a grade of all, I will start, but it's not the best grade probably. I'm giving 5 out of 10.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Thijs. Maybe you can put that wonderful little 4 questions you have in the Telegram group for everyone to use it forward.
Yeah, I'm glad you're sitting next to me. I was a little more generous. I gave 6.
Thank you.
All right.
5.
Thank you.
5.
Free.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much.